Hi, it's you and Ellery here making bonsai in Australia, and in this video I'm doing my first update on my Japanese maples. So I bought my first Japanese maple, probably be a little bit over a year ago now. So it was only pretty small at the time, and since then I've actually done a couple of prunings, which has resulted in growing both of these from cuttings. So I got a couple new trees out of it, but as you can see, it's kind of, it's not that thick at the bottom, but you can already see it's starting to get pretty good taper, and that's just from the fact that I'm starting to cut these branches off. So you can see from this one, which is one that I just bought recently, so it's had a similar kind of approach. So there's a big branch there that's been removed in the past, and then it's been pruned back to there and left to grow. So again, you can see fairly decent taper in that tree there. Now, the other new Japanese maple that I've just bought, so it's been left to grow crazy in the past, and then they've just pruned it back to here and let it grow. So there are benefits to letting it grow, and that is that it does get a lot thicker in the bottom. For this one, for instance, if I had let it grow and hadn't pruned it back, then it would probably be a lot thicker by now, but then you have a bit of a compromise when you're just growing for growth. So obviously with this one, you can see they've let it grow for growth, and then they've pruned it back, but there's no taper in this part of the trunk, or very minimal taper. Now, you could potentially get more taper if you let these branches grow out as sacrificial branches. Look, I've got another video where I do detail what you can do if you want thicker trunked bonsai, so I'll leave a link to that up above so you can check that out. But for this, look, because it's got such a long part of the trunk that has no taper in it, I really want to fix that. What I'd be planning on doing with this is pruning it back probably to about here, just so you've got a couple more branches that can grow off from these shoots here. And then, you'll end up with a lot better taper over time that kind of comes from the start of the tree as opposed to higher up. Now, I don't want to do that today because the top of the tree is actually quite nice. If it were to have, say, a root base from here, then this part of the tree would have good taper. It's got the start of branching there. I don't want to lose that. It is just starting to come into shoot. You can see a couple of buds starting to come out here, so it's a perfect time for me to start repotting it. But it's also the perfect time for me to do an air layering. So what I'm going to do today is just do a bit of an air layering here, so I can use this top part as a tree in the future, and then also use this bottom part. I was also considering repotting this today, but given that I want to do an air layering, I want to keep it as healthy as possible in the roots so they can put as much vigor into the tree, and I can have both halves of the tree survive. So I'm going to leave it in its pot for now, probably for the next, year or so, and see how it goes. So with this one as well, so as you can see, there's actually a lot more room in the bud. It's a lot further away from being root bound. So I'm gonna just put in a little bit more soil in the top of this pot just to hopefully get the top of that root structure growing a little bit better, and leave this for another year as well. To get the air layering underway, so it helps if you have a really sharp knife. Just the sharper the knife, the cleaner the cut you're gonna get, which is gonna mean you have better chances of branch rooting. So first thing, you want to catch it at a time where it's starting to bud, so life's starting to come out of the tree, which it is. So the start of spring is always best. And then you want to cut a section that's probably around as thick as long as the actual trunk is in diameter. So for this, it'll probably be about 1 centimeter. I'm going to do it just above where these shoots are coming out. So just get rid of these. Oops, shit. Don't mind me just cutting up my tree. So just scoring around the trunk. And the same up the top. Right, so I've just cut around the edge there. Now you could use, if you have say cinnamon or a rooting hormone, you could definitely apply that, but I don't have either, so yeah, just gonna have to see how we go. So now that I've done that original scoring on it, so I'm just gonna start packing. So what I have is a bunch of sphagnum moss. So I'm just got a plastic bag. So often they recommend that you use a black plastic bag. I think that's to generally just to stop the light, but you know what, I mean, I've got sphagnum moss here and that's going to be stopping light anyway. So yeah, with the clear bag at least you can start to see when the roots are starting to come through. Right, so I've got it just generally kind of attached there at the bottom, wide in a little bit. So now I'm just kind of packing in sphagnum moss a little bit more. So the roots won't be coming out of the bottom of that score where you peeled off the bark. They'll come out of the top part. So you want to make sure you've got the top of it well and truly kind of wrapped up. And as well as that, and you can probably tell just visually by looking at the moss that I'm using, just make sure that you've got moist moss to begin with, just to keep that moisture in there for the roots to grow. Right, so that's now done. I'd kind of hoped to keep a little shoot below the wrap there, the air layering there, but got a little bit carried away and it got wired up, so whoops, my bad. But yeah, so that should be fine. Look, hopefully I'll get a couple of shoots down here. I'm sure I will, and if I don't, then I'll definitely get some shoots when I cut this back and take off the air layering. So look, I'll leave this over the next 6 months or so, and then yeah, hopefully once I start seeing a whole bunch of roots coming out here, then I can take this off and yeah, have two Japanese maples for the price of one. So look, I hope you enjoyed this video or took something from it. If you have, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so that you're notified with future videos as I release them. But look, thanks for your time today. Enjoy. Bye.